Hello, everybody, and welcome to Team Venom Media's Royal Rumble 2024 post-show review. I'm your co-host, Rory Bailey, joined by my co-host, the Sea Dog, Sea Man himself, Connor Franks. Connor, how are you, my love?
I am good, and I'm sure all my seamen out there are happy to
Hmm.
see the Seaman back on the screen.
Yeah, I bet they are. I bet they're all having a great
Yeah.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Which wrestler used to have a fan base and he'd call them a sexual thing or a sperm thing? There
Oh,
was someone, and I can't remember who the fuck it is.
I can't remember. I know, obviously, Al Snow and Steve Blackman
Testicles!
was the testicles from
Testicles!
Test. Yeah,
The
yeah.
testicles, yeah.
But then Al Snow and sorry, Al Snow and Steve Blackman were head cheese because why not?
Ah,
Vince
good
McMahon
times.
at his finest.
Topical.
Very, but that's about
Yeah,
all we're going to go into with that
yeah. Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, indeed. Although actually saying that, one thing that we are going to go, we probably will touch upon it because of one of the returns that didn't happen because of that. But yeah, the Royal Rumble itself was absolutely awesome. I don't know
hmm
how to really describe it other than frigging awesome for the whole show. I enjoyed every single match. I know there was only four matches, but it was 4 hours long, and
Yeah, it was still full.
I
And
enjoyed
I've seen a lot
every
of
minute
people
of the show.
online bitching about
Yeah.
the men's rumble, especially because there wasn't, a legend appearing or anything like that. To
Mm.
which I would imagine if I flick through these people's tweets, they would also have like 2 months ago moaning that, you know, blah blah's not getting a spotlight or anything like that. So pick a lane.
Yeah, yeah. And to be
They have
fair,
a roster where they don't need to bring anyone in. They don't. The
I think
roster
the
is fucking massive.
yeah, this was going to say the WWE roster at the moment is probably the best it's been in about
Ever.
20 years
Ever.
or
I
ever. Yeah, yeah,
watched 2002 Rumble the other day, star-studded,
yeah,
and yet not even as stacked as the current roster is right now.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. WWE, especially over the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years, they've managed to do a really good job of actually building new stars, and that's one of the things that people used to complain about all the time. But under Triple H's new regime, they're actually properly building up new stars. I mean, Cody Rhodes, for example, he has been treated like a big deal since day one of him returning, and CM Punk as well. Drew McIntyre, even though his whole persona at the moment is whiny and stuff and everything, he's still being treated as a big deal.
Yes.
I like how they're doing it because when he was on top, when he was the WWE champion, he was virtually unbeatable to the point where it used to wind you up because you're like, yeah, no, he can't just keep kicking out of absolutely everything and beating everyone. Now it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he can't do it because he got in his own head over all that stuff and he's being a bit of a bitch about it. Great. Randy Orton's
Yeah.
always been a star since 2005, I'd say. That was the point where not like he'd already won the world title by that point, but 2005 I think was when Randy Orton properly started cementing himself as a big name because that was the Undertaker match at Mania. We got guys like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller who, whilst not big stars, they get in there and you can see that they're getting there and they've got potential. You've got guys like Sami Zayn, who this time last year, Sami Zayn was the hottest babyface in the company. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
And
Rumble was stacked.
just on that as well, like you mentioned Waller and Theory there.
Yeah,
And they're so like, yeah, all right, whatever. Cocky heels lose lol, right?
yeah,
Fine.
yeah,
However, they are featured so prominently that in a video that me and you are planning to do about Mania,
yeah.
they feature heavily in my pitch.
Nice.
For the reason is that they, while not being up there in the card, they are still such a prominent feature,
Yeah, yeah,
which hasn't happened in the way where, nearly everybody who's rather, positioned on the card, whatever, are
yeah.
still relevant. But
Well,
we've got that.
that was the appeal for the Attitude Era was that with all the character-driven stuff, you wanted to see what everyone was doing on certain shows.
hmm
Now, because Russo was involved, bro, most of the time it was the drizzling
Choppy,
shits for
choppy,
most of the
pee pee.
undercard. Yeah, but you still wanted to see because of how good the characters were. Now it's not just character work now. It's you want to actually watch the matches because a lot of the guys are stupidly talented. Like at the moment, we had
Exactly.
one of the Viking Raiders got injured, so the other one has been on a tear and is probably one of the most dominating heels on Raw, and it's amazing. And he's having a feud with Chad Gable. 2 years ago, if you said, "Oh yeah, Eric from the Viking Raiders is going to have the best match of the night with fucking Chad Gable," you're like, "Nah." And
And
they're still going to be doing the Alpha Academy with Otis and stuff. Like, nah, that's not going to be one of the best matches of the night. No, it was
well,
really
that's the
good.
thing. And there was even a point of someone online said, like 2 months ago, Chad Gable feuding with Gunther, not even in the Rumble. But like, who would you have taken? The only arguable
Yeah,
person you could take out maybe was Pat McAfee.
yeah,
But even then, because McAfee was in there for what, 40 seconds or something, that would mean that obviously everything is planned for a reason. That would mean that Chad Gable would then have to be in the Rumble and be
yeah.
eliminated
Just
after
go
40
straight out.
seconds.
Yeah,
So then people would moan about that.
yeah. I know. It's mad. It's really mad. And the thing is,
Right.
and we've gone back to the era where there's decent stables as well. I mean, do you remember when we were doing the
Yes.
podcast the other year and we were saying about the Judgment Day and how they were losing all the time and how we thought that it was pretty much over within the first 3 or 4 months of the run? Like, yeah, they've got no credibility. Now it's like one of the best segments of the night every time they're on. And the stuff with our
And
troop
that's
has
it.
been brilliant. And yeah, it's just great.
Um, but like we're getting back to what was it? A Survivor Series in like 97 or something, where it was like called Gang War or something.
Yeah.
But I love it. You've got because they're all featured as well, decently. Judgment Day, The Pride, awful name.
Hmm.
Final Testament,
Yeah.
Alpha Academy. There's
Bloodline,
another one.
obviously.
Bloodline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a good chunk of them, and they're not just like we'll put these guys together because they're Asian. We'll put you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. And they're doing that thing as well, which is brilliant, where the baby faces aren't idiots. Which,
no.
you know, how we've had that was like a tired trope for a while, where it's now like, oh yeah, someone's beating up Kofi, the and Xavier Woods is injured. Yeah, but Jey Uso's mates with him. Oh, here
Imperium.
comes Jey Uso. There he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. Sound. It took him
Yeah.
a while to get there
Imperium.
because he wasn't aware that this shit was happening. But as soon as he was, he got down there. Love it.
Exactly.
I love the fact that
Exactly.
stuff's actually making sense on the show. It's great.
That
And
WWE have
anyway,
always said that they want their product to feel like everything's intertwining. It's a
yeah,
continuous moving story, and I think this is the only since Triple H has sort of taken full control and whoever else behind the scenes, but like this is the only time where it's ever felt like they're actually doing that.
yeah. I also like the fact that the authority figures actually are interesting to watch.
Oh my
That's
God.
something that has been
Yeah,
like a
Nick
problem for
Aldis.
years, and now it's like no.
Well, Nick Aldis not being a heel, not being a face, but not taking even Roman shit is perfect.
Yeah.
It's literally just a case of touch me, you get fined a stupid amount of money. I'm the boss. This is happening. Get over it.
Yeah. I
And
love that
that's
thing
how
with
it should
Randy
be.
Orton where it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
did everything to side him. Orton RKO'd him like, yeah, look, the first thing I'm doing is fighting you. And Orton's like, giving you
all right,
twice the
double it.
amount for next time.
Yeah,
Which is great because Orton's awesome.
exactly.
So, but yeah, WWE is full of is chock full of stars at the moment, and there's more that have come back. One of the guys that we're going to talk about in the Rumble that came back was one of those ones who had the star power but wasn't pushed right towards the end of his
Yeah.
last run. And now I think he's going to be in a really prominent position at Mania. I think one of the things that we'll probably talk about when we get to doing the Mania video, prediction video for Talking Trash, is going to be what he's on involved with and stuff. I'm assuming it's also going to tie in with the Austin Theory and Grayson Waller pitch that you were going to go with.
Possibly.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, we've waffled for ages and not actually said anything about the matches on this show, other than the roster is stacked. The roster's great at the moment. It's a very enjoyable time to be a WWE fan, and
All
it's
right, well,
great.
we'll get into it then. The
Yeah,
the Women's Royal Rumble kicked off
yeah,
the show with Natalia making her way at number one.
yeah,
And number two, the returning Naomi.
yes.
Very, very epilepsy inducing entrance.
Yeah,
Uh, but no, it was great. Great to see Naomi back. They even mentioned that she's being in TNA and
yeah. And it was good that they mentioned it and said what she'd been up to. And little did we know that that was just a prelude to what was coming later in the match, which was great.
Yeah,
So yeah, the women's rumble. There was a load of surprises. We've got that thing like we just said about the authority figures. They've just put The Rock's daughter as the GM of NXT, and they had her
yeah,
randomly
ever
turn
in.
up on SmackDown and say, "Hey, look, we're going to have some NXT people in the rumble." Great,
Yeah.
made sense,
Although,
and
did you watch the kickoff?
yes,
Do you know when it was showing Randy Orton walking, like when the
yeah,
arena was empty and he was just sort of walking down the aisle? Did you see the Titantron behind him?
no, no, what was that?
It flashed up Roxanne Perez
Oh, nice.
on the kickoff and immediately like went off. Like you could tell the like shit.
Yeah,
And I was just like, oh, I'm happy she's there, but no, it's spoiled it for me.
yeah.
I say that like she wasn't the first name I'd talked about with my brother when he said, "Who from NXT showing up?" I'm like, I can tell you. She was the first one. Number three, Bailey.
Yeah,
She was my pick to win, as I'm sure she
yeah.
was a lot of people's pick to win. I was quite surprised she was this early.
We even had while the rumble was happening, for the benefit of the viewers and benefit of the listeners and stuff. We were messaging each other, and I was like, not who do you think is going to win? Who do you want to win? And we both said Bailey,
Yes.
and that was like three picks in, and it was great. And I mean, are we going all the way through the eliminated through the participants, or are we just going to talk about the match as a whole and move on to the next?
I mean, we can go through the participants because a lot of them we can go through relatively quickly. There'll
Yeah,
just
fair enough.
be a few names that I'll mention that then we'll be like, oh well, this spot was cool, or an entrant, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, fair enough.
um, yeah, Bailey. Surprised she came in at number three.
Yeah,
Um, Bailey, spoiler that she won.
yeah,
Um,
and deserve to be
oh,
fair. And
massively. I was just really surprised that last year we got number one
yeah,
winner, and this year number three winner.
yeah.
But
When was the last time we had a number three winner? Was that Rey Mysterio or was he number two?
no, he was two.
Ah, okay. Benoit was two, wasn't he?
Benoit was two. McMahon was two.
I don't think I've seen anyone win from number three. I might be wrong,
Not
but
off the top of my head, but
I can't I
no.
can't think of anyone that has. But all the same, awesome.
Yeah. We then got Pint-Sized Pixie, Candice LeRae.
Yeah,
And then number five, TNA Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace.
yes, and that was awesome.
And might
I
I just say, her in that size arena, in that whole WWE environment, I've never seen someone look so at home.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I know that's probably iffy to put on the channel. We have a little TNA relationship. I'm aware of that. But I'm not, I don't have
Well,
to talk about TNA because this is the Royal Rumble. She looked like she belonged
yes, and she looked
walking
like
out
she
in
could
front
win
of,
it at various
yeah,
points as well, and
exactly,
that was the thing. They even had a little reunion of her and Naomi where they had a hug and then beat the crap out of each other for a bit, which was
as they
awesome.
should.
Yeah. One of the things about Jordan Grace that I'd like to point out, like my obviously some of the viewers know, for long time viewers know that the pair of us both got married last year, not to each other. And I also went to the Impact UK show, and I took my wife there, and she'd never really been into wrestling that much. And we were watching things, and we basically pointed out how Jordan Grace live in the environment. I mean, there was some really good talent there. The matches were great and everything, but in the context of the knockouts division, Naomi and Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo looked head and shoulders above everyone else that was there. And Jordan Grace just looked like a star. She's got that general star power, like how in the early 2000s when like if The Rock turned up into a match, you just were glued to whatever they were doing. And she's not on the obviously The Rock's his own level, but that sort of vibe of you ignore everything else and focus on that person. So you know what I mean? That sort of star
Yeah,
power. And my wife became a fan of wrestling as a result of Jordan Grace and Pirazzo and Trinity, now Naomi. Yeah, it was great. Jordan Grace is awesome, and I'm really, really chuffed that they put her in the Rumble, and it was just really cool to see.
it was. Number six, Indy Hartwell happened to be the first one eliminated. She lasted 3 minutes, tossed out by Bailey. Number 7, Asuka,
Yeah,
who lasted 13 minutes in total. I thought she's always like goes for the long haul. I didn't when she got thrown out, I was quite surprised.
yeah, same here.
Uh, Number 8, Ivy Nile. I like Ivy Nile. It's cool to see her. 9, Katana Chance. 10, Bianca Belair. 11, Kairi Sane. 12, Tegan Knox. 13, Kaden Carter. 14, Chelsea Green. 15, Piper Niven.
Yeah.
And oh, poor Chelsea. Absolutely murdered by everyone,
Yeah.
including Piper Niven by accident, but just it's
There was a
decent.
point where Piper was getting that much of a run of destroying people that I actually thought for a second that they might be going, you know what, we're gonna repackage her and give her a more serious edge, and she could win the Rumble as a fresh matchup for the title. And
What one day, like one year, I hope it happens,
yeah,
of the case of men's or women's rumble, the winner is someone who no one expects.
yeah,
Like you can have, like where it's heavily pushed, where everyone's going, okay, well, it's obviously either A or B,
yeah,
but then it's fucking Z out
yeah,
of nowhere wins it. And just because that's what the rumble should be.
yeah, yeah, it is, yeah,
Like the rumble should is a case of you don't need to be the best wrestler, you don't need to be the strongest. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like the
And there are certain
one
times
day,
where an established star who's already held the title winning the Rumble makes sense in the context of
mm,
recent build and stuff. Like Bailey winning, for example, she's been nowhere near the women's title in terms of going for it for absolutely
no,
ages.
100%.
So Bailey winning it gives us the interesting thing of, is she going to go after Rhea so that Damage Control have got 4 belts, or is she going to go for Io and we get Io, Bailey, and Dakota in a triple threat match at Mania?
Yeah.
Either way would be really good. I'd love to see either
But
of those matches.
yeah, but then something like this, like imagine Chelsea Green's been knocked out
Hmm.
and rolled out of the ring and everyone forgets, and then she just comes up
Yeah, would
and
have
then
instantly
then
made
sh
her.
yeah, and then Chelsea's whole run could be the whole very like late 80s, the heel who always has to cheat to win.
Yeah,
Is impossible to get the clean victory, but always manages to do it and walk away with the title.
yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
then eventually faces the big face in some kind of match where no one can get involved, and then she loses.
Yeah,
Like one day, I hope, men or women's. But we move next. Xia Li, who I forgot was still employed.
same.
Um, yeah, she came out and I was like, "Who's that?" Oh yeah, which isn't her fault, but
No.
it's a very stacked division, and I personally would have sent it back to NXT. She was more prominent in NXT anyway. Number 17, Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Um, Number 18, Maxine Dupree.
Maxine is
She,
has ridiculously improved over the last 6 months.
yeah, but improve more.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's on her way. She's
yeah, yeah.
certainly improved, but
But when she debuted on the main roster with the whole Maximum Male Models thing and stuff, and LA Knight being part of that as Max Dupree, no one thought that out of the 4 of them that LA Knight would go on to be the most popular guy on the roster, and that I know obviously we hope because we've always loved LA Knight / Eli Drake, but we didn't think that she'd become one of the highlights of Raw,
no.
which is one of the things because the Alpha Academy's been brilliant. I'm actually genuinely
Yeah,
enjoying what they do on Raw, and that's the thing. And I've liked how for the train. Have you seen the training video for the Rumble where it's Maxine Dupree with Gable and Otis
yeah.
trying to show her how to hold onto the ropes so she doesn't get eliminated? Great. I
Mm,
love that they're doing that approach of Chad Gable being as great as he is. He's trying to make other wrestlers better. Awesome.
yeah, definitely. We then got Nia Jax, who, my God, did they put a spotlight on her?
Hmm.
She eliminated what? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 people in this Rumble.
Wow. And to be
Uh,
fair, how they built up to the Rumble, I thought Nia or Becky was the right way they were going to go. I
It
thought
did
that
seem
was who
like
they were
it.
going to go from the storyline perspective of Raw and stuff. As to say, we were both saying we wanted Bailey to win by our message thing, but logically, I was thinking, yeah, it's going to be Nia or Becky. But
At this point, Nia came in and eliminated Xia Li, then Ivy Nile, and then it was Piper Niven, Katana Chance, and Chelsea Green.
nice,
No, sorry, not Chelsea Green, just the ones before. Yeah. We then got Shotzi.
yeah,
Nice, always nice to see Shotzi. Big fan of Shotzi. She was eventually eliminated by Nia Jax as well. Then we got Becky Lynch,
yeah,
who had a very good showing.
yeah.
Um, oh, also Bailey eliminated 7 people on her way to winning.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah,
We then got Alba Fire. Excuse me. Only lasted about 6 minutes before being eliminated by Naomi. We then got Shayna Baszler, another person eliminated by Nia Jax. We then got number 24, Valhalla, and Michael Cole and commentary. Been very excited about seeing Valhalla's horns.
yeah.
Yeah, very excited.
Very
And then
excited.
R-Truth's music hit, and he sprinted past Valhalla, looked very concerned at what he was looking at, and then ran to the ring.
And also got
Realized there was
eliminated by Nia
Yeah, then
Jax.
realized there were women in the ring. Got thrown out by Nia Jax, uh,
I
Adam
liked
Pearce,
how with the
and
you actually it actually picked up the audio of R-Truth say to Adam Pearce, "You mean to tell me there's not a bunch of dudes in
yeah,
there?"
and then
Oh,
Valhalla got in the ring and was knocked out in 5 seconds. Then proceeded to be held back to stop her from only I can assume is eating R-Truth.
yeah,
Wonderful R-Truth moment. You love to see it. More of those later. Number 25, Mishin, also eliminated by Nia Jax. 26, Zoe Stark. 27, Roxanne Perez.
yeah,
28, Jade Cargill debuting.
yes. And how great
Uh,
did she look?
she looked fucking amazing. They are putting a rocket on her back.
Yeah,
Honestly, they're putting a rocket on her back,
I
and
half
it's
expected her to win it when she
yeah, it
came
looked
out.
it
I'd forgotten
honestly.
that. I remembered that she was there, but I'd forgotten that she hadn't had a match yet. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. I was like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
yeah!" I forgot we were waiting for her debut match.
Uh, Tiffany Stratton at 29, and then the returning Liv Morgan at 30. Yeah, it was great. Cargill came in, literally threw Nia Jax around,
Yeah,
and then threw her over the top rope. But I have no complaints for that match, man. I was more surprised we didn't hear Michelle McCool's music.
yeah.
I think it genuinely feels like this might be the first that we haven't. Might be wrong, but she
Yeah,
might have not been in one. But I feel like she's being in all of them.
normally the women's rumble is one where they bring back past wrestlers more than the men's now. And in
But
this year
again,
they didn't
they
do it at
didn't need
all.
to.
No,
They
I
didn't
know.
need to.
This
That's
is
the
it. This is how
thing.
good the roster's gone.
Fatal four way. We don't really need to go much on the actual matches themselves, purely based on the fact that we all knew Roman was going to win. He won.
It won.
He
It was a
nearly
really
got
good
pinned.
match though, and
It was really
it
good,
did tease the hell
and
out of me all the way through.
he
It's like,
technically he would have lost to each member of the match because all of them got a 3 count duration pin that got broke up.
yeah.
Mandatory solo appearance, pulling someone out of the ring
And then the
had to
tease
be
of
there.
Solo fucking up by
Yeah,
going through the barrier instead of AJ, and he was like, "Oh, what are they going to do?" And then Roman spears AJ, and the whole thing of, "Oh no, it's over." No, no, AJ's still in this somehow, and it was like, that was how
exactly.
to build emotion in a
Then we
wrestling
got a little
match.
finisher fest, and then the spear is what got the win. Logan Paul beat Kevin Owens by DQ.
Yeah,
Very decent match
I
again, but
actually
again,
really like that.
Logan Paul.
That
It was good, but then Logan Paul, Goon, insert them.
yeah.
Brass Knuckles, KO dodged it, used them himself, punched, went for the pin. For some reason, didn't take them off. Whatever, DQ. Uh,
Do you know the best thing
and
about that
then
match for me was that Logan Paul genuinely looked like he'd had the shit kicked out of him by the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
did you
He
see
was
his
all like
post? Did you see
scraggly.
the
He
post
got the
match
broken
interview?
nose. No, no.
he got asked a question and he was like genuinely out of it.
Bloody hell. But yeah, no, he
Like
looked
he was like, yeah.
he looked like
I
he'd been
don't
in a
know.
fight, which is great.
I don't know if maybe the punch actually connected a bit too much, or if it was going through the announce table after the match. But one of them fucked him.
But there was also all the times where like it got halfway through and all of a sudden he got a busted nose and stuff like that, which was great. It was Kevin Owens. I thought needed a good showing considering this time last year was when Roman and the Bloodline beat the absolute piss out of him. So it was good to see that they gave him a really good highlight. But
Yeah.
yeah, Roman Logan keeping the title made sense for what it was because he's not going to lose it in his first defense.
No, and at this point he might as well. He's like the big. He turns up for the big show, so he might as well keep it till Mania.
Yeah.
Mi fucking hell, nearly died. Lovely. Main event, Royal Rumble, men's, obviously.
Yep.
Entrant number one, main event Jey Uso.
Yes.
Entrant number two, no main event, Jimmy Uso.
No yeet
No
versus the yeet.
yeet. Yeah, very cool. Obviously had to fight each other when the match started, but they didn't just single each other out the entire match.
No.
But the little competition they had is nice. I think it's a bit of foreshadowing for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think we have to have that one-on-one.
Yeah.
And we have to have them colliding, and it was cool to see. Number three was Grayson Waller.
Yep.
Number four, the returning Andrade.
Yeah. This is what we alluded to earlier. He was on the cusp of he was on the cusp of superstar level when he was here last time.
Yes.
And the way that they presented him with all the entrance gear and all the clobber and everything, how he came out was like, yeah, big deal. And he lasted a long time. They made a big deal of him. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think the right thing to do with Andrade right now is just put him in prominent matches until like after Mania, and then you can really set him to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Um, so like I'm assuming the Elimination Chamber, sorry, will have like number one contender matches, for example.
yeah.
Put him
Stick him in
in
that.
like one for the US,
Yeah,
or no, one for the IC, something like that. Don't have him
yeah,
win
yeah,
it because it'll be Winner Goes to Mania, but put him in it, let him start, and let him be like the last eliminated sort of thing. Just make him look strong no matter what.
yeah.
We then got Carmelo Hayes from NXT, who I say from NXT again. Once the Dusty Classic's over,
Well, he was on SmackDown, wasn't he? Just
that's
gone.
what I mean. He's been on SmackDown and he's in the Dusty Classic. I'm pretty sure the final of the Dusty Classic will be Braun and Baron versus Carmelo and Trick.
Yeah, and to be
So
fair, either team could win that, but I think
yeah,
it's got to be Bron and Baron, hasn't it? So
exactly. Uh, After that we got Shinsuke Nakamura,
yeah,
uh,
and
Santos
that,
Escobar.
I'll,
Go on.
I'll have to point out as well because we were on about the how great the stars are at the moment. Shinsuke is someone who won the Royal Rumble, was always a big deal, always had fantastic matches and stuff, but they didn't pull the trigger on him at the time. They had him go to Mania and lose, and then they did that heel turn, and he sort of lost a lot of momentum for a fair few years. I know he's held like the US title and the Intercontinental Championship, but he's always sort of felt like a bit of an afterthought until the last year. Whereas the last year, I think what they've done with his character on Raw, how they've been presenting him, they've made him feel like a big deal again, and
Yeah,
that ties into how we kicked off this episode when we were talking about all those sorts of things. And yeah, Shinsuke is awesome at the moment. So he's someone that I could have seen winning the Rumble, if not for other factors going into the Rumble. He's someone that if there was no, sometimes they come into it, you get to the Rumble and WWE genuinely don't hint at who could win.
yeah.
If it had been like that, you could look at it and go, yeah, I can make a case for Shinsuke. But yeah, and he was awesome. He's awesome in everything. To
Oh
be
yeah.
fair.
After Shinsuke Nakamura at number seven, we got Santos Escobar.
Hmm. And he's
We
feeling like a big deal now for saying he was a cruiserweight champion on NXT, and that was about it.
yeah. Um, and he kind of floundered when he first came to the roster with thingy. He's one of those people who's meant to be a heel, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think that
Um,
was the point, though. And they've given him like, yeah, he's had like so he's had the better part of a year with Rey Mysterio and being part of the LWO and all this sort of stuff, and a little bit of a nostalgia pop, and then it's gone. Yeah, no, he's gone full on heel, and he's bringing Angel Garza and Humberto with him to make things to make that more interesting. That's another faction that we haven't mentioned. We haven't mentioned the LWO
uh,
or the
LWO
new
and
Legado.
Legado. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Um,
and that's got to be either a six-man tag at the Chamber or a multi-man match at Mania, depending on how they do it. But yeah, it's looking
yeah,
quite promising for Santos at the moment. It's like they've been treading water with him and building him up gradually, and then they've gone, haha, yes, which is great.
definitely. After Santos, we got Karrion Cross,
Yes.
who only lasted like 6 minutes, but like they did it the
But
right
it was
way.
more of the angle that
Yeah,
they were building,
it
and
was
and
more
it
of
was
the
good.
angle, yeah, but it was like
I know
I
it's
just
depressing to see him only last that long.
I really hope when it comes to an actual match, he has to win
Yeah,
because this is like his what third repackaged sort of thing.
yeah,
If they don't go all out on this, it ain't gonna work, which I don't know why it's not working. But I'm hoping now that it's Big Papa H. He got him to be the most enjoyable part of NXT as champion.
yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like if anyone can do it, Triple H can, but I just really hope they do pull the trigger. Number nine and lasting 33 minutes, Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Do you remember when we were saying, yeah, Dom's not showing any improvement, he's just so tedious to watch? And then he joined the Judgment Day, and then you saw his character actually become a decent character. And
And
by
he
that, I don't
became
mean decent as in morally, I mean he's a decent, fully rounded character now. He's
yeah,
a
and
knobhead,
he was
basically, and
the
he's a great
best
one.
heel of 2023.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not
That's what I'm
this
saying. He's
yeah, that's not even up for
improved
debate.
he's come along in leaps and bounds since joining the Judgment Day. And when he joined him, it seemed like it was just sort of a and then it was yeah, no, Dom's getting more and more character work done, and now he's just like being thrown in with everybody. And that's the thing as well. He was having we were saying about how bland his matches looked at one point, and now it's like who's Dom facing? Right, in the last few months, he's had a feud with Cody Rhodes, and he's CM Punk's return. He was CM Punk's return opponent at Madison Square Garden and stuff
Exactly.
because he's gotten that good, which is brilliant. You know, I'm very happy to have been, you know, that they've gone. Yeah, we've seen the criticism about Dom. Here's here's how good he can be, and that's great. I'm very happy that that's happened.
Me too. We then got Carlito.
Yeah.
We then got Bobby Lashley, who
Do you remember when we were
lasted.
going mad about Carlito coming back in the Rumble? Like, yeah, Carlito. And now he's just there all the time, and it's awesome. So, yay,
Yeah.
hooray, Carlito. Well done.
Plus,
Thank
again,
you.
wait for the Carlito heel turn. It'll happen.
Yeah, and
Uh,
they had the tease of it though because he was doing the whole spit biting the apple in the Rumble. We haven't seen that for a while.
yeah. Uh, we then got Bobby Lashley, who lasted a minute and a half.
Yeah. Well,
That,
again, that was more about the angle,
and
wasn't it?
that's
With
the
it.
angle. Yeah, him and Cross both going out fighting each other on the outside. Um,
AOP running down and Street
AOP came
Profits.
down, Street Profits came down. So we're
And
getting
that,
that
that's
at Chamber.
but that's also how stacked the roster is at the moment. How many times have we watched the Royal Rumble where they've got random tag teams in there where you get both halves of the team or whatever because they need to fill up the space? We got two really good tag teams there. One of the returning ones in AOP who could have been dominant in the Rumble because of their size. They didn't put them in. And then you got your Street Profits as well, and they've been like really prominently featured for years, including the upcoming one way of what's his face and Bianca Belair having the reality show. You'd think that would
Yeah,
be you'd think he'd get a decent show in the Rumble, but no, it's like yeah, no, you guys are the tag teams and we haven't got room for you because the roster's that stacked at the moment, and that's awesome.
that reality
So
show, Mr. Tricky, should have been called The Fresh Tez and Belair. Um,
yes,
But number 12, we got Ludwig Kaiser. Nice to see
Yeah.
him actually in a Rumble.
And
Uh,
I loved the thing of when while the other six guys were beating the crap out of each other up the ramp, he was just like, "Ugh," peasant sort of look on his face
yeah,
and just casually stepping away.
yeah.
Not phased in the slightest.
13, Austin Theory.
Yeah,
Then we got Finn Balor.
yeah.
Another bit of Judgment Day in there. We then got Cody Rhodes at 15, Bronson Reed at 16, Kofi Kingston at 17, wearing like beach shorts.
He's been doing that a
And it,
lot because he did it on Raw randomly, and everyone tweeted about how he must have lost his gear, and then it's just no, that's how he wants to dress now.
yeah, it really bugs me, I'm not gonna lie.
It is
We
strange.
then got Gunther, who, while on the way to the ring, Ludwig Kaiser got eliminated, and Gunther just told him off like a fucking school teacher, which was great. Um,
See, gone for
number
someone that's been very good for a long time, and he's another character that's really come into it over the last year or so. The way that they've been building it, they've gone from he's won the Intercontinental title, and that's what he's doing for the thing to actually you should watch what's happening with Gunther. It's really good. And then like they had him confront Seth Rollins on Raw, and they had a whole thing where people thought because of how convincing that segment with Rollins and Gunther was. Like Sports Illustrated ran an article saying that they were going to headline WrestleMania against each other based on that segment, and loads of
yeah,
people were bought into Gunther's winning the Rumble now. That's just happening because of that one segment, and that's how good he's gone. And that
oh,
segment he
so
had
good.
on Raw was top tier heel work, and yeah, it's really great to see the whole roster firing on all cylinders. It's brilliant. It's a
It
really
really
good time
is.
to be a WWE fan. In fact, it's a really good time to be a wrestling fan, because obviously, like we've said on our other show that we've got talking TNA at the moment, that's having a bit of a resurgence. But it's a good time to be a fan in general, but mainly for WWE. And yeah, not if you're a fan of if you're watching AEW. The less said about that, the better. But speaking of which, I would like to point out, we've been trying to watch AEW for the last 4 years, and we've not been able
Hmm.
to get into it. We've not really enjoyed it. We've struggled. They've had like the ideas, but not the execution a lot of the times.
Yeah,
And this Royal Rumble took three people that had come over from AEW and basically made them look bigger than anyone else in the matches that they were in.
yeah,
And the fact that they were able to do that, sorry, because Andrade looked awesome. He looked better than he's looked in the last couple of years in AEW.
yeah, and yeah, he did, and he got a
And
good showing as well.
he
23
did.
minutes.
Exactly. And Jade Cargill looked great when she was in there.
Jade
We were
Cargill
we took,
always looks great.
I know, but I mean, it was like they went, yeah, they basically went, all right, we've got these four ex AEW people, and we're going to make sure that we show them how to book them. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh, apologize for that. I have a chest infection.
same here,
Fun
man.
times.
It's not good. Obviously, testament to our dedication to stuff to
Yeah.
each other to get this podcast done.
Oh yeah. Number 19, Ivar, who we, just praised.
Yeah,
Um, lasted just under 5 minutes, thanks to number 20, Ron fucking Brecker,
yeah,
who
he was great.
he was great. Very happy to see him. Big Ron Brecker fan. Rumor mill is that he was there because a certain person who we'll call Pork Lesnar
Mm,
um isn't there
because that does make sense.
because of allegations surrounding him and others. Uh, to be honest, prefer Bron. I think it's better to have Bron there because, like,
Brock's got the
if
star power. Brock is a beast, but
if Park
this
Lesnar's
was.
music had a hit, I'd have just been like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
I know what you mean. But
Bronze went
this
off, and I
was.
was like, oh my god, Jordan Grace is back.
Yeah, but yeah, it was the thing of yeah, but it was that thing of Bron. doing the stuff that
And
Brock
by
Lesnar
that,
was
I
going to
mean,
do.
I'm pretty sure Jordan Grace's arms are the same size as Bron's,
Yeah,
which is impressive.
yeah. I mean, fair play to Bron for being able to keep up.
Exactly. We then got the unaffiliated, undrafted, who can eliminate him? Almost. Who was
Yeah,
eliminated by Bron Breakker. Um, Bron Breakker eliminated Finn Balor,
yeah,
Ivar,
yeah.
Omos. Who else? There's someone else. Who else? Jimmy Uso,
Ah, okay, yeah.
which surprised me because I thought it'd be Jay.
I thought Jimmy was going to be in there for a long time. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, Jimmy,
Longer time even.
yeah, he was in there for 34 minutes. But Braun literally got in there,
And beast mode,
speared
yeah.
Jimmy, caught Finn, slammed him, clotheslined Jimmy out the ring. Um,
But that was the thing, there wasn't. It was. They said that what's been coming out into light in the last day since the Rumble is that apparently what Braun did was what was supposed to happen for Brock. And you can
yeah,
see how that would work because of his history with the bloodline. He would go after the Jimmy. His history with Finn and stuff, where they had that odd one-off match where Brock destroyed him. And last year's Mania against Omos and stuff. So the people that he's interacting with would make sense for Brock Lesnar to have interacted with.
but just
Uh,
made Braun like look next level.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, and that's good. That's what they need. But it also ties into what we were saying earlier. We've got loads of people on the main roster that have hit that superstar level, and they are doing a really good job of building guys up. And Bron is a prime example of that. He's obviously come up from NXT in the Rumble match and just looked like he should be there. He looked like he
Yeah,
could win the damn thing as well with the showing that he had. So yeah.
the what I'd like them while we're on the topic of Braun, what I would like them to do
Hmm.
is keep him in NXT until the Raw or SmackDown after Mania.
Yeah.
In NXT, they've got the Dusty Classic thing. Um, have between now and then either Braun or Baron capture the world title, the NXT title,
Yeah.
and then at the is it Stand and Deliver their Mania?
Usually, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Stand and Deliver. You could give us the Braun versus Baron all out match, and then let Baron win it, and then Braun comes up.
yeah.
And I think that's what that needs to happen because Braun coming out to some kind of open challenge from someone
Omos.
huge.
Omos.
No, I don't want to
No,
see
because
Omos.
they have
I don't
MVP
want.
and Omos on the Raw after Mania because they've got nothing to do with him anyway, have
But
they?
yeah,
They're
but at this
the
point, he
undrafted
beats
team.
all. At this point, if he beats Omos, it's not impressive.
Yeah, well,
Everybody
yeah, I
has
know
beat.
that is true.
Everybody has beaten Omos,
Yeah,
and
I
I
know, but
mean
I'm saying I could
everybody.
see them doing it.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, okay.
Imagine Bron Breakker comes out and mauls Bobby Lashley.
That would be beautiful.
That's a star-making thing, and then you've also got like quite a cool feud there.
Yeah.
After number 22, we got Pat McAfee, who was on
Who
commentary, who got in there, looked at
realised what
Braun,
was happening and was like,
looked
no.
at Omos, looked at Braun, looked at Omos, climbed over the rope, got on the apron, shook his head and went, "No, I gotta do this." Got in the ring and went, "No, I ain't doing this." Climbed over and jumped down. We got 23, JD McDonough
Yep, with his massive head.
made his way down the ramp, got to the ring and took an almighty spear off Bron Breakker just after Bron got eliminated by Dominic Mysterio
Yeah,
because heel heat is just.
yeah,
Um, we then got number 24, R-Truth.
yeah.
Number 24 came out. At least he got the right number in the women's, but now he's got the right rumble.
Yes.
Came down, picked up JD, threw JD in the ring. JD then got clotheslined out of the ring by Jey Uso. R-Truth then got on the apron and was reaching out for Dom to tag him. As who
But
was
Dom did the
attacking?
hot tag like
He did the hot
that.
tag. They played into it, and R-Truth started just going after Gunther.
Yeah.
Beautiful moment. We then got Miz, and then we got Damien Priest. At this point, I'm pretty sure all members of
Finn had gone,
um,
hadn't he?
yeah, had Dom gone at this point? I think he had.
Maybe.
Yes, he had. I think he had. Maybe. Either that, or he was soon gone afterwards.
Yeah.
And then we got CM Punk, and might I just say this crowd was shit
Yeah.
for
I don't know
everybody,
if it was
not
because
just
of the
Punk.
size and because of
I
the
don't
big
know.
the big ramp and stuff, but it didn't sound like there was a reaction to anything.
You guys need to do a Rumble in Wembley.
Yeah, yeah,
You need to do a Rumble in Wembley because even when fucking uh Ludwig Kaiser comes out, it's gonna be fucking loud.
yeah,
Probably chanting something like two World Wars and one World Cup, but it will still be loud.
yeah. That's
It will
exactly what would be chanted.
exactly, but it would still be loud. Like
Yeah,
this is the Rumble, and like you deserve to have a shit hot crowd for that.
yeah,
And nowhere other than the UK is going to give you a ridiculous crowd. Um, yeah, Punk came out, eliminated. He eliminated Dominic Mysterio.
yeah,
Which again, it's a nice little callback to the MSG confrontations. 28 was Ricochet.
yeah.
29, Drew McIntyre, who hit Cody Rhodes with a Claymore so hard one of his teeth came out.
Nice.
Honestly, go watch his Claymore back on Cody. And you see a little thing, sometimes you can't tell if it's spit or not.
Yeah.
But then when Cody lies on the floor, the fucking tooth is next to him.
Just yeah, I'll have
And
to
I
have a look at
also
that.
noticed Drew has been quite, I mean, it sounds silly saying he's been rough, but he's been very, very physical with Punk.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if he's just, I don't
I
know,
think
making
that
it
might
look like that, or if it's just
maybe that's the thing
sending
with
a message,
Drew versus Punk is going to be the fallback plan if Seth isn't well at Mania.
maybe. And then number 30, we got the return of Sami Zayn,
Yeah.
which good, came in, got his shit in, got thrown out in 3 minutes.
Which, to be fair, he was number 30, and he's
He
been
was
off with an injury, so it might have been a case
exactly.
of
It's probably keeping, I mean, from 30, there's not a huge gap between that and the
the
last
end.
two.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah,
it
he
could be
came in
the
and
thing of
he got his
he's come
shit
back
in.
from injury. He might not actually be 100%.
Well, Punk eliminated Ricochet. Sami Zayn eliminated Priest, and then McIntyre eliminated Zayn.
Yeah,
So sort of in like a tandem kind of thing. Our final three, because Punk got Drew out, which the crowd kind of gasped at, which I thought was impressive. Um, our final three of the match ended up being Gunther, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. So a
nice.
nice little callback to the last two of last year. Gunther got eliminated, and then the final two was Punk and Cody Rhodes, which they basically had a little fucking match at the end because
Yeah,
they
yeah, and
weren't
it was great.
there wasn't much attempted to throw each other out really. But it all ended when Punk picked Cody up after knocking him on his ass and says, "I didn't come back after all this time to lose to Dusty's kid." Picked him up for a GTS, dropped him down. Cody grabbed his knee and threw Punk over the top rope. Both hitting his floor. Cody Rhodes won the 2024 Royal Rumble and became the first man in 26 or 27 years to win
To go back to
back-to-back
back. Yeah,
Rumbles.
which is
He's
great.
finishing the story.
Yeah,
It's hap-
absolutely.
it has to happen.
Yes, I agree completely. And I think, like Cody's been saying before, he's the man for the job to beat Roman. I think that's how it's going to happen. And I love the fact that the last 3 weeks, no one's expected Cody to win the Rumble. For the entire year, everyone did. And then CM Punk came back, and that was thrown into question. And then on the first Raw of the year, The Rock came out and teased the thing with Roman, but with one line. And so it was like, yeah, Cody's not getting the title shot. He's not going against Roman this year because we're going to get Rock versus Roman, and that's all that everyone's been saying. And now it's come to like that. No, we're getting Cody versus Roman, and it's going to be friggin' awesome. And yeah, I think Cody has to win the WWE Championship in the main event of Mania. At WrestleMania 40 as well, the fact that they always do something special. What the tens that
Anniversary sort of shows,
yeah,
yeah.
like 20 was Benoit's one, 30 was Daniel Bryan's, 40 is going to be Cody Rhodes. It's got to be.
It is.
10 was Bret
And
Hart with everyone lifting him on his head as well. Just realised that I
yeah,
missed that
and we
10.
all know Punk doesn't need the Rumble to go for that title at
No,
Mania. He's gonna. The whole
and
reason he came back, probably in his contract, is he gets to main event one of the nights.
yeah, which he does deserve to main event to WrestleMania. He did deserve to main event to WrestleMania when he was champion, to be fair. So you can see his frustration or
He does,
what it was
but
then
I will be very amused if he like starts night one. I think that would be very funny.
is literally the first match. But do
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
think.
can see happening?
Yeah, we said you'd main event one. We didn't say which.
Do you know what I can see them doing? And I think following their interaction of Cody and Punk on Raw, I think we're going to get a year of if Cody wins the title and goes to SmackDown, the pair of them are kept away, and I think Punk will win the Rumble next year, and Punk versus Cody is the main event next year. I think that'd be a
Possibly.
fantastic. I mean, there's the interest already. We saw how great they are against each other in the Rumble. I think that's yeah, maybe not this year, but next year definitely.
Without a doubt. I think at some point we're getting those two in a major match and
Yeah,
it's gonna be wonderful. Um yeah, that about covers it, man. Very
yeah.
good rumble to me.
I have
I get
no complaints about the Rumble. We're
I
usually
have
very negative when we do WWE podcasts, so when we're
we
reviewing stuff live. And I know we started the Talking Trash podcast, which goes out every Friday, and we were talking about how we weren't going to review the Rumble on the first episode of that. Um, but we both enjoyed the Rumble that much that we felt like we kind of had to, just because we're usually quite negative on regular WWE stuff. And this was just such a good show. This was the thing where this is one of the few pay-per-views in a while where I can literally say, yeah, no, I watched all 4 hours and enjoyed every bit of it. And you know how narcoleptic I am when it comes to wrestling pay-per-views if I haven't had a power nap in the night. Didn't get to have
yeah,
a power nap and stuff. And yet the only time I started dozing off was as the show ended. Boom.
yeah. That's
That's how
impressive for
good it
you.
was. It is very impressive.
So we're in January and we've it's pretty much nailed on for Mania 5. Roman
Yeah.
Reigns defending the Undisputed World Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes, which I pray to God when he wins it, he just renames it the fucking WWE Championship.
Yeah, and I hope it goes back
Uh,
to the Winged Eagle like the rumors were before.
I
Just,
don't think I don't
I
think he
don't think they
will.
do it for long or an amalgamation thing or something. But I at the
Maybe.
same time, this version of the belt is a new one. So yeah,
And I think we've got Io Sky v Bailey. I think it's
yeah,
got to happen. I know
maybe a
Bailey,
triple threat with
but
Dakota
I hope not because again that really pisses me off. It pissed me off with
when they won a Rumble. Yeah,
when
yeah,
when Edge won it, and then it ended up being the triple threat with Daniel Bryan
yeah,
because
because
it
it
gets to
defeats the point of winning the
it
Rumble.
does
Yeah,
it gets to a point where you're like, well, what's the point in the Rumble?
yeah.
So I think it just needs to be as is. But yeah, I'd give this show a fucking solid what
I'd just give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of
Fun.
10,
Yeah.
maybe a 9 out of 10 based on I don't know. Yeah, no, ten
Based
out
on
of
the
ten.
whole show, I'd say this is probably on the whole show from start to
Best
finish.
pay-per-view so far this year.
Yes, probably the best Royal Rumble pay-per-view ever, maybe. If you were going from start to finish. I don't know. I think it'd
Uh,
be difficult to go from start to finish on any other
it's
Royal Rumble
definitely up there.
pay-per-view and say it's better than this one, which is how good it was.
It's up there. I was a fan.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, no, that's been our time. You can roll the outro.
The outro of don't forget to like and subscribe because I always forget to tell people to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Connor, for being over there and being wonderful. And thank you to me for being here too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see everyone. Well, if you're a fan of TNA wrestling, we'll see you every Thursday for talking TNA. This week's one's got a special guest. If you're a general wrestling fan, we'll see you every Friday for talking trash for Team Venom on the Team Venom Media YouTube channel. So yeah, like, subscribe, watch our future podcasts. Enjoy.